What's going on, guys? Welcome to my first ever Pokemon Draft League recording. My name is Obrachiever, and I am the coach of Edmond Mimikyus. I just yanked this out of my ear, that hurt a little bit. So let me tell you a little bit about myself. I've been battling competitively for a couple years now. Got one first place, a couple runner-ups, no big deal. I also am a co-admin for BTR, which is a league that me and Brotheryubby run. And speaking of Brotheryubby, he's most of the reasons for my runner-up titles. But that's enough about me. Let's get into the real stuff. Right now we're playing in the HBA, which is the Havoc Battle Association run by Evader, and currently it is week 5. Now, it's kind of weird to start, on a week 5, but mainly this is because I am subbing in for Nosadie, because he decided that, he was a little burnt out of competitive Pokemon, so he decided to hand it over to me. And by the way, he gave me a pretty good team. My team consists of Mega Scizor, Necrozma, Rotom Wash, Hydreigon, Jolteon, Darmanitan, Ribombee, Gligar, Tangela, and Conkeldurr. Now this is a little bit different than a team I would normally use because it's got 2 electric types, and it's just like, I don't really care for Jolteon. Haven't used Gligar much. I love Tangela. And Mega Scizor is probably my favorite Mega, so I think I can do some work with it. Now for week 5, I'm actually playing DyeItTight, who is the coach of the, Middletown Mantines. Sorry about that. His team is Mega Latios, Sylveon, Arcanine, Shaman, Cobalion, Milotic, Tornadus, Crocodile, and Electivire. Now, when I was building for this team, I was mainly worried about the Latios, the Sylveon, and I don't know, the Crocodile's pretty scary too, especially since it's one of his Z-Mons. So let's get into what I brought this week. So I've got the Mega Scizor Snipper Clips. I decided to run max HP, max special defense because, it walls all the special threats pretty well. It can take an HP fire from a modest Mega Latios, and then it turns around and hits it with U-turn, gets out of there. I can revenge kill it, so that's pretty nice. It also walls Sylveon unless it uses HP fire, but honestly, I don't expect him to bring fire moves on all of his Pokemon. So I've got Knockoff, Roost, U-turn, and Bullet Punch. Now I like running this set because Knockoff, gets rid of those tedious items. Roost, I can get some health back. U-turn just gives me a little momentum, and then the Bullet Punch gives me priority, and it hits Sylveon like a truck. So that's pretty much that set. Next is SpaceX, the Necrozma. This one, I decided to make it a little bulky and kind of like a setup sweeper. I gave it leftovers so that it can get some solid recovery every turn. I gave it almost max HP, but I gave it a little bit of speed so that with sticky webs, I can actually outspeed I believe it was Crocodile, because I didn't want to get hit with a knockoff, assuming it's not, Choice Scarfed. So I've got Moonlight, Calm Mind, Photon Geyser, and Signal Beam. Now Photon Geyser hits pretty much everything on his team for, good damage, and then Signal Beam is actually there so that I can hit the Latios for super effective and the Crocodile for super effective, because I just want to get those out of there. And there are a few mons that I think I can start setting up Calm Minds on, mainly Arcanine, because, his Flare Blitz does a little bit, but I can just Moonlight up. I can also set up on the Milotic, assuming he doesn't Toxic me, because that would be kind of annoying. But yeah, I think that this Necrozma will do some pretty good work. Next, I have a really weird Ribombee set. This is Kawaii, the Ribombee. First, it's got Sticky Web, because I liked slowing everything down so that Necrozma is faster than it should be. I've got Roost because everything should get Roost. Toxic to deal with some, you know, like a Calm Mind Latios or just something that wants to sit there for a long time in front of me. And then U-turn, so that I can get out of there, get into something else that'll hit it hard. You'll notice that I do not have Moonblast, and I didn't really think I'd need it. I just want to come in, set up some webs, maybe get a Toxic, and then get out. I also made it pretty quick with 354 speed. It outspeeds, I believe, everything unscarfed. And then I gave it max HP and some pretty good special defense so it can take a hit. Next we have Maytag, the Rotom Wash. It's got Hydro Pump, Volt Switch, Shadow Ball, and Toxic. And then it's got Choice Specs. This was mainly because I just wanted to send it in, hit something really hard, maybe even get a Volt Switch, because the nice thing about Rotom Wash is that Crocodile doesn't really want to come in on it, so that I'm almost free to Volt Switch unless he, you know, predicts me really well. But other than that, you know, it just comes in, hits hard. I can, you know, bluff the specs with the Toxic if I need to. Then we have Darmani the Darmanitan. This is a Sheer Force Life Orb set with Flare Blitz, Rock Slide, U-Turn, and Will-O-Wisp. Literally nothing on his team wants to take a Flare Blitz. And then even if he throws an Arcanine, Rock Slide will take that out right away. Will-O-Wisp, it can burn the Cobalion maybe. It could burn Tornadus if he is a bulk up set. So I see this thing doing some good work. And then last we have Little Bat, the Gligar. I have Stealth Rock, Roost, Toxic, and Earthquake. Now, I didn't really think I'd need Defog because I don't see his team setting up a whole lot of hazards. So, didn't have that. Just got Stealth Rock so I can put up some rocks myself, Roost to, you know, alleviate some damage, Toxic to just get, you know, some damage. Actually ran a lot of Toxic Mons now that I'm looking at it, and Earthquake for just, you know, a stab attack that'll do something. And then I've also got immunity on it so that I can't be toxic because, you know, I don't like it. Alright, now that that's all out of the way, let's hop on over to this match. Let's get this out of the hair. Okay. Now that I'm noticing it, he's the Middletown Mantines, not the Midtown Mantines. Again, sorry about that. I should probably double check my team names next time. But anyway, so looking at this team, I decided that I really wanted to lead Gligar to try to get those rocks up early. I didn't really see anything that would scare it too much other than maybe like an Ice Beam from Latios. So that's what I decided to start with. He goes with his Crocodile, and instead of starting rocks, I was like, okay, well, let me just Toxic it, because I know he's going to knock off. It doesn't do a whole lot of damage. Each knockoff after that will do about the same, so I just get out that Toxic. Then he shows the Aqua Tail, which was terrifying, so I just Stealth Rocked that turn. And now I know the Aqua Tail won't do more than like 56%, so I just decide that I'm going to Toxic Stall him, get those Roosts up, and not worry about it. He misses another Aqua Tail. Again, sorry, that was just bad luck on your part. But yeah, so I can just keep roosting, and eventually I decided to Earthquake because I knew the Toxic damage would just get him out of there. Crocodile's out, and now he doesn't have anything to set up rocks. He goes into his Latios. I was a little worried that he was going to set up a Calm Mind, so I decided to Toxic. He Ice Beam, and I go down, so it's not a huge deal. He does Defog, and I go for that U-turn to just get out of there, deal a ton of damage, and that thing is almost dead. I know that Ribombee will scare him out, so I decide to set up webs. So I get it myself. I'm scouting kind of for the Rocky Helmet, which he does have, and I just didn't want Ribombee to stay in. I do get Toxic on the switch in though, which kind of sucks, but it's not a huge deal because I don't plan to have this thing in for very long. Go for a little Hydro Pump, which does miss, kind of unfortunate. And then I know that he's probably going to hit me with an electric move, so I go back into Ribombee, do a little bit of damage because I'm specially bulky, and then, yeah, he switches in with the Sylveon. So now I just Toxic this thing because I did some calcs wrong and I ended up, you know, taking huge hits from this thing, but I lived on one, which is awesome. So I U-turn, get out of there, and I go back into my Rotom Wash because I thought I could also take a hit here, which I couldn't. So we did that, got hit, and sacked off the Rotom, which isn't a huge deal. And now that Necrozma is in, I feel free to just set up a Calm Mind, take a hit, do 43%. Since he's Toxic, I can just Moonlight, get my health back, and he will die next turn to Toxic. So that's what I do. He goes into his Latios, which really not too worried about. He gets the webs away, and now that I just knock it out with the Photon Geyser. And at this point, I'm feeling pretty good. There's not a whole lot on his team that can hit me for over half that I can't just Moonlight up. So I decided another Photon Geyser, just get rid of the Electivire, because it's a little bit annoying with its physical attacks. And my leftovers will just, you know, get my health back. Arcanine, again, not too worried about. Flare Blitz doesn't do a ton, and I can just Moonlight back up, and eventually his Flare Blitzes would kill him. But he Toxics me, which, annoying. Hate Toxic. Love Toxic used, hate getting Toxiced. So I just go for, you know, another Moonlight and decide to start whittling this thing down. Hit him with the Photon Geyser. He's at low health. I know that next turn I can take him out. And I don't want to keep Moonlighting because that toxic damage is going to do a lot. So, you know, I'm probably going to have to get out of here with Necrozma pretty soon. So I just get rid of the Arcanine. Now he's down to 2 Mons. The Sylveon, not too worried about. I want to save my differential, so I actually switch. Take Hyper Voices like a champ, not too worried about it. The HP Fire, was worried a little bit about that. Now here is something I didn't realize until after I had Bullet Punched. His last mon is Cobalion. If he goes into this thing, and it is a Swords Dance set, my webs are gone. He's faster than pretty much my entire team. You saw that Rubambi didn't have Moonblast. So one Swords Dance and he runs completely through my team. So he switches in. I'm scared, so I just need to get out of there, try to do something, but he's actually a Z-Mon. So he uses that up, doesn't kill me. I go into my Darmanitan because now this is my last hope. You already saw it, but he did not Swords Dance. He Focus Blast, and I was worried about the Stone Edge, but you know, it's now that you see he's a special mon, so it's not a huge deal. The only thing that would kill Darmanitan at full health is a crit, so he goes for that. He actually misses it, and Flare Blitz, and there you go. That is week 5. I ended up being 4-0, which is a great match. After last week, Nosadie just kind of felt burnt out. He actually went 0-6. So we are on the road to getting our differential back up. And with that, I mean, that's pretty much it. So thanks for watching. If you liked it, just, you know, leave a like, comment anything you feel like. I will respond. And yeah, just go check out DyeItTight's video. I'll try to leave his link in the description if I find it. But anyway, you guys have a nice night. See you later.